Welcome to the Forged by Design podcast. This is your host, Daniel Badijo. Thank you so much for all your support. You can find us through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, our YouTube channel, Forged by Design. Today, if you want to know about finances, mindset, real estate, I have a very important guest that's going to align our thoughts, our action plans toward living a better quality of life, a life that it's worth having. Your family enjoy, your peers enjoy, and you will not regret the decisions that you make in life, both physically, mentally, spiritually, of course, financially as well. Without further ado, Mr. Antonio Bradley, how are you?
Living a dream, man.
It's been a dream. You always use that phrase. Why is that?
It's funny. So about 3 or 4 years ago, I was almost slipped into depression, right? I had a lot of stuff going on. Didn't really feel like I had control over it, even through prayer. And I just felt like the Holy Spirit was telling me, proclaim how you want to be no matter what you're going through.
That's great.
And so to go against the grain of the stress, I decided when people ask me how am I doing, I would say I'm living the dream.
You're living the dream.
I wasn't.
Correct.
But I wanted to proclaim it, right?
That was a declaration.
So, yes.
Outstanding.
So that's what I do. Yeah.
So you, at the beginning, at the early age, you decided to join the military.
Yes.
And at what age did you join the military?
18 years old.
18 years old.
Yeah.
So that was a decision you had already made. You needed to get out of, you said Indiana, right?
Indiana. Yes.
So you decided to, born and raised till 18.
That's it.
And you said, all right, Indiana, got to go.
Time to go.
Time to go. So you joined the military and you had a specific MOS. What was that MOS?
I was a cable systems installer and communications, and I also dealt with IT, network switching.
Networks, is that something that you wanted, or you scored high on the ASVAB test?
Well, I started off as a cable system installer. It kind of got bored because we did fiber optics, Cat 5 cable.
Sure.
So eventually it was kind of like no progression.
Correct.
So I decided for a better challenge to go into IT networking. Okay. So I changed my MOS to 25 Bravo.
That's very, nowadays everything's going higher technology,
right?
Artificial intelligence, more switches, servers, bridges,
right.
They're taking over towns and cities. What a great decision to go into IT. It has great rewards. So you never, once you got what was the MOS again?
I went from, it was called 31 Lima.
31
Lima.
To
25 Bravo.
Turning 25 Bravo.
Right.
You did 18 years in the military.
16 to be exact. Yeah.
16 years.
13 active and 3 reserves.
That's an outstanding. Did you visit any nations?
Yeah.
How many nations? Did
Iraq.
Iraq.
3 times.
3 times in Iraq.
Yeah. And then I got an opportunity to live in Korea for 1 year. That was awesome. Yeah.
Korea, that's amazing. Yeah. I've always wanted to either go to Japan or to Korea and just visit those nations. I did have an opportunity to go to China once.
Yeah.
Soshu, I guess, south of Hong Kong. So we arrived at Shanghai, and then we had to take a 2-hour bus drive south. Yeah, quite an experience. But they treated me like a king. I mean, I went there for business matters, new product development stuff, which I'm in. But it was quite an amazing journey to look at different cultures, different settings and whatnot. The flight was so long. It was like 13, 14 hours one way, know. So I can only imagine you, Korea, and so forth.
Yep.
Once you got out of the military, first of all, what made you get out of the military after 16 years?
So,
the wars?
No, I read my wife gave me a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And we were then,
I had that book somewhere around here. Yeah.
We were in a training exercise, like deep in the woods. And so I probably read about half of the book in like a day or two. And it really struck me hard when I read it. And I'm like, wow, this really makes sense.
Sure.
Why am I here in the Army? I felt like I was doing things the hard way and the slow way financially to reach my goal. Right. And so I decided like, hey, one day I'm going to get into real estate. I don't know when, but I will.
Was your wife Jasmin, was she already into real estate during your tenure
wasn't.
in the Army?
No, we both were in the Army together.
Oh, you both were in the Army together.
met.
How many years did she do?
She did 7.
Okay, and what was her MOS?
She was 25 Quebec, which was communications as well. But I think they dealt with more satellites.
Sure. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. A tag team in the Army and getting out. So you got out of the Army because
I got out of the army so that I could pursue my dream of real
So you
estate.
can pursue your dream. So once you got out of the army, you continue to do networking and cable and switches and all
Right.
that.
That was like the bridge, because it was kind of scary to like get out of the army.
Sure.
You're not going to get a retirement. I didn't get a disability check. I just cold turkey. I was like, hey, if I want to do this, I got to burn the bridges. Right.
Okay.
Everybody thought I was crazy, but I just had that dream and I had to step out. So
And Jasmin went into real estate.
she actually started a restaurant.
Started a restaurant.
First, she started a restaurant when she got out. So the plan was for her to get out. She was going to be a stay-at-home wife. Well, 1 week when she got out of the military, she opened a restaurant. She never was a stay-at-home wife, right? She started the business. So we became restaurant owners 1 week after she got out. So
Wow, that's amazing.
So we had that restaurant for about 2 years, and then she got into real estate.
Okay. So she knew the dream, the aspiration that you wanted to pursue.
Yes.
She went and got her license, got the information, because real estate is very demanding.
That's right.
You have to be on call maybe 24/7. Before this
Almost,
podcast, he had another call talking about a lease here, a lease there. So I understand that it's very demanding. How long did it take for you to go into real estate as well, knowing that Jasmin had already somewhat laid the foundation for the knowledge that you needed in order to pursue a real estate career?
It took me about another 3 years because, of course, she went the route of becoming a real estate agent first, right? We always wanted to be real estate investors, but I dealt with a lot of fear back then. I didn't really believe in myself, right? But when I went to Korea, that was my opportunity to kind of learn who I really was, because when I got there, they promoted me to staff sergeant and then they made me platoon sergeant. And I was so afraid that I had to be in front of these people. And now I'm in charge of like 48 people where I was just in charge of nobody. And just being in Korea for a year really taught me how to believe in myself, because they really challenged me there.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad they did, because it taught me that, hey, you are somebody. And so eventually I took the step of becoming a real estate agent.
So what's the process like? It's several years, different types of certifications, different types of levels before you can become a licensed real agent?
Yeah. So no, it's very simple. The class is about 3 months long.
3 months long?
Yep. You have to pass the class exam, and then you go and you take the state exam.
Okay.
And once you do that, you can do all that in a matter of 4 months.
Do you still remember your first house you sold?
I do.
You do?
Yes, I do.
What year was that?
This was 2016. It was what we call a for sale by owner. So someone was trying to sell the house on their own.
Okay.
And so I did a cold call and convinced them to work with me.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. So I've got some questions for the audience and for people listening to me, because you bring such a wealth of knowledge in the industry. You're part of the you have your Bradley Group.
Yes.
You partner with Keller Williams, and if that's you can go to his website. A lot of houses there for listing, a lot of great prices and so forth, which can be tempting to new buyers, new home buyers, especially in this industry. Sometimes a very volatile, up and down type of market. A surplus of houses, then a shortage of houses.
Absolutely.
Then it's all about location, location, location. So one of the questions that I have is. I see a lot of new buyers shopping for homes and neglect the process of getting pre-approved.
Oh, yeah.
And so, they shop around, they jot down 10, 15 homes around the neighborhood that, they look at schooling, they look at job location and so many things, amenities, whatnot. Then they come to Mr. Bradley and they said, I want to look at this house, this house, this house. I would assume that, and forgive my lack of knowledge, that one of the questions that you may ask is, are you pre-approved?
That is one of the questions.
Is that the first question you may ask, or what are the questions?
No, it's not the first question. The first question would be, how soon would you like to make this move, and why are you moving? What's important to you about buying this house, right? I need to know the why, right? Versus just you just being another client or you just being another transaction.
Correct, yes.
Right? I want to know what your goal is, because I can better guide you that way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So once you know their why, and most likely, again, they see school districts, they want to maybe move closer to the home. One of the things that I was counseled when I was buying a home was, don't buy a car yet. Don't get into loans. Don't get into credit card debt. take care of your credit score,
Yes.
whatnot, before you even attempt to approach a real estate professional, because these are the things that can damage or
Oh yeah.
halt the process of purchasing a home. How many cases of those, don't have to mention anybody, it's just how many of statistically, maybe what percentage do you see people that approach you with the knowing their why, with a good intention, but have neglected the process of taking care of their credits?
Well, not so much lately, but early in my career, a lot. And I think lately it's because of social media, right? Social media, you have a lot of videos out there on TikTok, Instagram, and
Sure.
Facebook that educates the buyers to some degree, right? They don't get all the education until they come to us and we explain the entire process. But yeah, early on in my career, it happened quite a bit. I mean, we had instances where people will buy all the furniture for the house on a credit card before they close. And it's
Before they
like,
close.
got to take the furniture back. Either do you
Sure.
want the furniture or you want the house?
That's
So
correct.
things like that, and cars too, like you mentioned.
And
Yeah.
cars. Wow. So if you're listening, one of the advices that Mr. Bradley's giving is that, don't buy the furniture yet.
Nope.
Don't get into debt with credit cards. Make sure you have that down payment ready,
Yes.
or savings. I remember when I had this home, and I also had another investment property, which was my first home that I was renting out.
Mhm.
So when we were building this home, I had to have 6 months of savings for the first house
Yeah.
and 6 months of savings for this house. That was just savings.
Yeah.
Then, of course, how's your credit score, what you earn on an annual basis, and the whole list of things, which got me thinking that a lot of people, just because you can afford that monthly payment doesn't mean that that's all you have. All you have to is the ability to pay that mortgage, and then that's it. So a lot of people overshoot what they
Yes.
can't afford.
Yes.
What advice will you give a new person, a new home buyer, about not overshooting their price? I mean, I know you love the house,
Right.
but it can be above your pay grade, whatnot, at the moment in the stage in your life. But maybe you need to downsize so that you can have that buffer financially in order to live a better quality of life.
Especially if it's a first time home buyer, I tell them like, this is not going to be your last house, right? So you don't have to go all out, right?
Correct.
Look at buying a house as an investment. You can have more than one home, but just get into the first home. But don't use all your resources on that first house.
Correct.
And if you are approved for, let's say, 500,000, don't go spend 500,000. It doesn't mean you have to buy at the top of what you can afford.
Correct.
Buy what you're comfortable with.
That is correct. Competing with the Joneses is one thing.
You don't want to do that.
Everybody like me, when I started buying, you want the lake house.
Yep.
You want the lake house, and you want the boat ramp,
That's it.
and you want some good land in front of the before the boat ramp, because you want to have a fire pit area
You want
and
it
a
all.
gazebo and want it all. And in the back, you want the pool, and stuff like that. And then when you look at your salary, you're like, this is not going to make sense. And you calculate and you calculate, and faith is great. Don't get me wrong. Call the
Right.
things that are not as if they
You
were.
don't want to be house poor.
But you need to be realistic with your finances and be good steward of what God has given you.
Bingo.
And I see that now, especially when there's a shortage of homes in certain stages in life, or probably in the CSRA, that people just overshoot, and then of course they get locked in, and they're having to work 2 or 3 jobs in order to maintain that mortgage, and then the family emergencies, right? Your tire breaks down, you blows out, your car breaks down, and so forth. Home inspections. So I'm eager to buy a home. I love this home. What an amazing house. And I want to rush the process because I want to be the buyer, because there are other people making offers. What would you advise people to not skip that home inspection?
Never ever skip the home inspection. Right.
What does a home inspection would entail specifically? Because I have certain things in mind, but
Yeah.
you're the expert.
Sure. Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things that I'm visually looking for, even before the home inspection, right, is how well was this house taken care of, right? If you see a lot of delayed maintenance issues that weren't taken care of, that's going to raise a red flag, right? what else did they not take care of that we can't see, right? So I'm looking for that as I'm showing the home, right?
Correct.
And if I see a lot of red flags, we probably won't even write an offer, right? It's no use because you got to pay for a home warranty. So you don't want to waste time on something where you know there's going to be a lot of issues uncovered here, right? So, but in the home warranty, the main thing we're looking for is how old is the HVAC, right? That's a big replacement, high dollar value item. Roof, are there any leaks? How old does a roof look? Usually you can visually tell how old it is, if it's, if it's new or if it's old, or if it needs to be replaced within the next 2 or 3 years. Electrical panels, a big thing. We're looking for leaks in the ceiling. What else? Appliances. And the biggest thing is that buyers miss is foundation. You have to walk around the exterior of the house. You have to look for cracks by the windows down below the house. You need to look for cracks on the inside, by the doorways, the entrances, and the windows, to make sure that that house is not still shifting.
Would you recommend someone, like, let's say I'm the seller?
Yeah.
And I've got my own home inspection company that I work with, that I want to work with, that it may not be a third party home inspection. As a buyer, will you recommend maybe having a separate home inspection, or just take the one that it's being offered to you?
Oh, no. You get your own home inspection.
Okay, you get your own home inspection. And Absolutely. How long does that process last when the home inspector comes to the home, to the house, and especially if there's a pool involved, right? We got to look at maybe pipes, pumps, water systems and whatnot. How long does that process take for a home inspection, especially when there are a lot of add-ons to that? If you have a house, a separate house with a bathroom, with a shower and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Does it take a day? Does it take a week?
No, actually the average home inspection will probably take about 2 hours.
Maybe about 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2 to 2.5 hours.
They're that good.
They're that good. Now, I mean, because they can't go behind the walls, right?
Correct.
So,
right.
And they're just checking main defects. They're not checking for little small things like chips of paint, things like that.
Sure.
Now, when it comes to pools, you're going to get a separate type of home inspection, right?
Okay.
You need an expert in pools, not a regular home inspector.
Okay, so they're different. So whatever home inspector you get has to be licensed.
That's correct.
And I'm not sure if licensed and bonded, but licensed to do that home inspection, that has some sort of home inspection guarantee, that you didn't miss something that was very obvious. I'm not talking about like you said, the paint and chips, something that was could have been catastrophic or dangerous. Safety hazard to the new buyers.
Correct.
So if you have a home inspector, he has to be licensed, he or she licensed to do the home inspection. And if you have a pool inspector, they have to be licensed as well.
And foundation,
and that's a
different type of inspector.
All right. So home inspection, pool inspection, foundation inspection. I would say start saving if you want to buy a home.
Oh yeah.
There are people that buy a house and they finally get approved. They have good credit. But, they had the savings. They were able to pass the process. And unfortunately, they drowned their savings because of the down payment. And they just had enough for the down payment. And the next check is what they're dependent on in order to start paying the mortgage, paying the utilities, and so forth. So is that something you advise to someone? Say, if you're going to exhaust every single penny of your savings in order to put a down payment, I would recommend maybe just downsizing or changing your expectations to ensure that you're not caught in a foreclosure.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say you either wait another month or two, right? And it also just depends on how good is this person going to be with budgeting, right? Because you could buy a house and your mortgage is going to be $1,400. They also could be paying $1,400 in rent today.
Correct.
Right. So if you're already paying $1,400,
not if. Have you been through CSRA lately? Of course.
I mean, just using that as an example, right? If you're already paying high rent, then you might as well struggle with the home than versus just struggling with the rent, right?
I tell you what, I've been in Augusta a minute, maybe more than you. I was when I came here, we lived in Augusta. Well, it used to be South Augusta, Butler High School.
Okay,
and that used to be the Evans of the CSRA. That's how many years I've been here. And then gradually, of course, things happen now. Evans is Evans, and Applin is Applin, and rents is rents, and stuff like that. When I was in an apartment, we used to pay maybe $600-700.
Wow.
It was made three room, 3 bedroom apartment, and stuff like that. Now it's 1,200,
Oh, yeah.
1,400,
I remember
1,600,
I moved here. My rent was $800.
$800.
That was 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Oof. And so now some leasing apartments is as much as your monthly mortgage. And so new
True.
home buyers have to say, okay, listen, with the home, you're going to have some repairs. Your
That's
water
true.
heater is going to go out.
That's true.
You're going to have maybe electrical problems, heating problems, HVAC problems, you name it, it's going to happen in the tenure of a home, especially if you stay in that same house for 20, 30 years, something's going to happen. You're going to have to replace those shingles, this and that stuff. And with a leasing with an apartment, of course, the landlord, the complex owner or the corporation, they have to take care of it. Yeah. So if you're listening to me, you have to outweigh the cost to make sure that you're not simply paying the mortgage and don't have anything to eat. You don't have any leniency on your finances. And perhaps in this season of your life, you may want to lease a townhome, a condominium, a studio, something that will be more flexible. A lot of people make decisions based on emotions.
Absolutely.
Emotions, right? And they don't, I just want to buy a house. I want to get out of my parents' home. I got to get settled. I want to get married, etc. And they neglect the neighborhood, I'd sit a mouthful, right?
Neighborhood is very important.
The neighborhood. I just want a house. I don't care where it's at. I just want a house, and that's a major mistake, because one of the things that I have seen from experience is that people don't do a survey of neighborhoods. Maybe, of course, crime, robberies, this, that, stuff like that before you enter. Yes, it's closer to your job. Yes, it's closer to maybe a school that your children are going to. But if you're going to invest on a property for that much money, investing, you're going to buy a house in the neighborhood that maybe no one wants to buy later on.
Absolutely.
Because it's not growing. Maybe it's stagnant. Businesses around are closing and so forth. Have you had to, on the new home buyer, say, is this really what you want? Or is this just an emotional decision?
I've had to do that several times.
Okay.
Yeah. When I work with a client, the first thing I'm thinking about is their future. 5 to 10 years from now, where are they going to be with
this house? That's a great heart, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Is this neighborhood going to appreciate? And you can tell I've been in a business for 10 years, so I kind of have an idea of what areas have been appreciating. Because if you have been appreciating, you're going to keep appreciating, right? Like sure. Nothing's going to drastically change that quick. But that's what I'm looking at in the next 5 to 10 years. Is this house going to continue to appreciate, or is it going to be stagnant? Because if they call me in the next 5 to 10 years, because most people, if you don't know, the research says every 5 to 7 years, on average, a person moves. So when they call me in 5 to 7 years, am I going to be able to give them good news and say, yeah, I can sell this house and this is what you're going to make, 20, 40, 50, $100,000? Or am I going to say 5 years, you're going to be breaking even, or worse, you're going to have to bring money to the table?
Wow.
Right. So I'm always looking for the future.
That's an amazing heart that you always look for the future on that. When you give them the I won't say the bad news, to say you may break even, but you're going to have to take out of pocket, because a lot of new buyers are wanting as an incentive, wanting the seller to pay the closing cost. Correct. Right? Or correct. Part of that percentage closing cost, or the seller's giving you $5,000 or $10,000 for whatever, furniture, maintenance, whatever. You decide what you want to do with that. But for the most part, as a cardinal rule, maybe, is that if you're going to buy this $250,000 to $500,000, $700,000 home, you may want to ask if the seller is willing to, in the negotiation process, to pay some of that closing cost.
Oh, yes.
And if you're breaking even and the buyer's wanting you to give some of that closing cost, you are, digging into your own pocket in order to do that. Shopping around for mortgages. You shop around. I guess it's the neighborhood convenience, and I love how you started, where you want to know the family's why you want to buy the home to begin with, and is this a correct decision in your life to buy the house now? Where you can save a little bit more, pay a little bit more debt, pay off those credit cards, pay off those loans. You'll never pay off those students loans. I don't know, but maybe you will. But to go ahead and get your finances in order and have a little safety net, a financial safety net, in order to acquire the home. Do you see a lot of people just shopping around? They like endless shoppers. If I'm a new buyer, says Antonio, I need for you to show me 30 homes, and I'm like, come on, man. I've showed you the entire CSRA. What do you want me to do? Have you had buyers like that where it starts off with 2 or 3 houses, and you're in your 7th home, and they still haven't made a decision? Talk to me.
7 is fine. So when I do my buyer presentation,
all right, he said it here on the Forge. 7 is fine.
Yeah, when I do a buyer presentation,
Sure.
I let them know you're probably going to be looking at, on average, from 7 to 10 homes.
Wow,
right?
that many.
Yeah,
that many
on average, right?
In the same neighborhood or throughout the
just throughout. That's the average buyer.
That's the average.
Some buyers, like me, for myself, when I'm shopping for a house, I know exactly what I'm looking for.
Sure.
Right. So I may only need to look at 3 or 4. What you need to do is when you're shopping for a home, you need to know your square footage, your bedroom, your bath. What do you not want? Like, what is a no-go for me? Like, I absolutely do not want this, right? And what do I absolutely have to have? So as I'm sending you homes through the internet and you're looking at them, if it doesn't match the square footage, we're not going to go look at it. We're not going to waste time,
sure.
right? So you have to pluck them out as you're looking at them before you actually go. So those people that look at 30 homes, it's because they don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what they want.
Correct.
Because it doesn't take that many houses.
Sure.
To figure out what you want. Yeah.
So by doing that market survey, that's so important. Know how many rooms you need. What's your family size?
Exactly.
And if you plan to grow into that home, I remember my first house did have it was I think it was a 3-bedroom house. It was about 1,700 square feet. It was what we needed at the moment, small kids. But when they started growing, becoming, young ladies and young men,
right,
and they needed their elbow space and privacy, I was in a bind. I was in a pickle. So, everybody needs their space. So we kind of upgraded just a little bit, right?
Right.
So by them shopping around, you give them an assessment of what it's in the marketplace. And sometimes this is what's available, in the industry, because just it could be Keller Williams, it could be Mavon, it could be somebody else. Everybody's competing some way, maybe for the availability of homes or who's selling the home. I get like 30 texts, maybe even in a period of 3 months. Are you selling your house? Are you selling your house? And I'm like, how did they get my number? You know what I mean? How does
skip trace?
But as far as Atlanta and, like 2 hours away, somebody somehow, somewhat, they know you have a house and they want to buy it, and see, not for the time being,
right.
But who knows? Maybe in the future. So underestimating ongoing maintenance costs. The house is great, but it came with the pool. The house is great, but it came with a boat dock or some other add-on to the house. Maybe it's an add-on to the house,
right?
That it was not somebody added a garage or an extra bedroom or a mom and pop did something in the backyard. And I don't know if it was licensed or approved by the city, but it's there. It's a structure that is there. What do you advise people that, when looking at maintenance? I say, yes, this is a beautiful house. Are you willing to take on this maintenance keep up? What would you advise?
Yeah. I mean, the pool that's a great one
That's
there.
the great one, Kane.
People don't realize how much it costs to maintain a pool, especially in the state of Georgia, because we have how many months where you could swim? Probably at least 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you think about that's all those months that you have to keep up with that pool, right?
Right.
In the north, they may have 3 or 4 months that they only have to,
correct,
purchase all the material to keep it clean.
No, we bathe. You're from Indiana. Well, actually, I'm from Boston, so we bathe in the snow.
Yeah, exactly.
We got 3 feet of snow. You want to dive in the snow. Here's a 10-foot wall of snow that you can go into. But absolutely, I had a pool very briefly.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Keeping up with the pH levels and the chemicals and the chlorine.
I remember one summer I calculated about $4,500 I spent
Oh my God,
with
I didn't spend that much.
getting somebody else to clean, or me trying to clean and failing and having to re-clean it again. It was a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is that you're the only one out there with the floater.
Yep.
I was the only one out there. So we're the kids. The kids are inside with the AC, playing video games, Fortnite, you name it.
Right.
Everybody's in their own world, and Dad is in this little pink flamingo floater
That you bought for them.
that,
Yeah.
that I bought for them. Swimming in this pool and wondering why I bought it to begin with. So we let's transition now to growing wealth. You
Yes.
know, I'm going to buy a house and I have this wealth mentality. I have a set of goals to achieve. I want to get $100,000, $200,000, or whatever that financial goal is as a family unit. I know that the house is both it's an asset and also a liability.
Right.
It's an upkeep until I do a return on investment. Hopefully when you sell it, you get, like you said, 30, 40, $50,000, $100,000, depending on the value of the home and its location. Its location. Right. I know of a gentleman that bought some property in Appleton when Appleton was not Appleton, right? Wow. A corner lot, 10 acres of woods. And he had almost tenfold of his investment. Wow. So that type of investment where people can see the future, know what houses to invest, know where to buy land, know the specificity of what they want to get into. When you talk about wealth management or wealth growth, what are the first cardinal rules or pillars you advise people? So I want to grow my wealth. What is something that you would advise me from the get-go? First, you want to know what I have, right?
I love this question.
Go for it.
A lot of advice.
You are an investor. You are you deal with this on a continual basis.
Yeah.
What's the start for a young family?
If it's building wealth through real estate, education is the biggest thing. Because I teach people how to flip homes too, and the main thing that I hammer is, don't just go investing in real estate. Understand why you're doing it, understand how to do it, and why to do it the way they're telling you to do it, right? Just don't be going through the process, right?
Sure.
Because eventually you'll make mistakes, right? And you may ignore what a book was telling you to do because you didn't know why it was telling you to do that.
You're referring to like city codes and regulations, regulatory, compliance, codes,
goals, like why are you doing it for, right? Setting goals, writing out goals, right? So when I teach people how to flip homes, a lot of them will flip one home and then they stop because it's a lot of work. They realize how much work it was. Well, if
are they flipping homes by themselves, or are they employing a contractor to flip the home?
They're employing a contractor.
Okay.
So we build a team. You have a contractor, you have the agent, which is myself, the mentor also, which is myself, which is guiding them through the process, right? Which selections to put in the house, how much money to spend, how much to budget, and all of that good stuff. And then you got your real estate attorney, appraisers, inspectors, and all of that stuff. We're putting all this together. So, yeah.
Okay. So when so wealth management is okay. I have Mr. Antonio. I have $100,000 to buy a home. You're like,
Yep.
it depends on the neighborhood too, right?
Right.
So, or whatever that is, 100,000, 200,000. Let's say I have $500,000 for a home but off of that, I'm willing to pay 250,000 for the house, and then I have another 250,000 for the renovation or the flip.
Right.
With the expectation to sell it for maybe 750, maybe 850, depending on the neighborhood. And I see, my wife and I, we spend almost at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. watching all these houses being flipped, right? Especially in the Caribbean, right? It's always in Jamaica and this and that. And we're like, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And we have these false narratives in our minds that we're able to do that, and it's that easy, right? Because that episode on TV is only about 50 minutes, and in 50 minutes they were able to flip a home,
right?
So you have to have some contingency finances in order to start flipping a house.
Yeah.
How much would you advise? I mean, obviously it's not only buying the house, but you have to have X amount of money saved up to purchase all the materials.
Sure.
So do you sit down with them and go through their financial books, their accounting, in order to say, yes, you can embark on it, or you may want to save a little bit more?
So I don't get too deep into their personal finances.
Sure.
But I tell them on average how much they need to get started, right?
Which
And then
is
on average, you're going to need at least a 20% down payment.
okay.
The average flip that's being purchased here in Augusta, depending on which neighborhood, is about 100,000.
Okay.
So that's 20,000. You're going to need another 5,000 for closing costs. So that's 25, and then you're going to need another 40,000 for rehab.
Okay, total that 25.
60, so you need about $65,000. Yep.
Off the bat, I need $65,000.
Regardless,
Regardless,
you partner with someone,
Okay.
then you only need half of that.
no, it's just me. It's just me. I
Okay.
need $65,000, and that depends on the house that I buy and what neighborhood I buy.
Correct.
I see a lot of development downtown where a lot of the homes that were there, and they've been being either torn and made into like townhomes, whatnot. Very elegant, very nice. As you're getting into the Laney Walker area and stuff like that, a lot of flipping of homes. Perhaps it's a corporation or whatnot that of investors that come in and flip those homes. But off the bat, independently, I need $65,000, depending on the house. And then I need the money to buy the house. So I need $65,000
You need $65,000 total.
total.
Because that 20,000
is to
is
purchase
you
home.
putting down the 20%. The bank or
Sure.
hard money lender rather is going to put down the other 80% for you. So we leverage. We use OPM, other people's money. Yeah.
That should be the. I should have named the podcast "Other People's Money."
There you go.
Oh man, that would be an epiphany just came. I have an
Better
idea.
Better for me to make money off of yours than mine.
All right, you heard it from Mr. Antonio that other people's money. It's a commitment. The flipping of the home, I'm assuming it's going to be maybe 35, 40 days, whatnot, maybe two, depending on how much structure you have to rebuild,
Yes.
things you have to tear down.
On average, 6 to 8 weeks is what it's going to
6 to 8
take to
weeks.
get the project done.
Correct.
And then depending on where the market is right now, we're on an average of 90 days. So you
Right.
add another 3 months to that, and that's your time frame.
And then you have to pay the home inspector, the pool inspector, and the the other
That's right.
inspector, the foundation inspector.
It's a lot of management, right? So, like you say, you look at HGTV and you don't see all the management that
No,
happens.
absolutely.
You don't
No,
see the
I-
phone
that-
calls. You don't see the mistakes. Oh,
Yeah.
well, and the orders that are being delayed, which is delaying the time. And then you have to pay interest every single day. So every day you're working on this house is costing you money. So
Correct.
every delay, takes money out of your pocket, right?
Correct.
So it's all about management. How well can you manage this project? And your management is going to depend on who's on your team.
What's one of the greatest lessons you have learned in coaching and mentoring people that are right now embarking on flipping homes? You as a mentor, as a guide, as the guru, what's one of the as you have coached so many people, what have you learned from all this process?
Well, what I would tell you if you're getting started, ask more questions than you think you need to ask. If you're brand new,
Okay,
even I don't care how small it is.
sure.
What type of toilet should I put in? What color should I use? Right? What type of flooring? Because everything matters.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
You just can't randomly pick things and think it's all going to come together and the buyer's going to be like, oh, I love that. You have to create a vision.
Right.
You have to start with a vision. You can't even start with a budget.
Sure.
Because if you start with a budget, you're going to have a cheap house and buyers
Right.
don't buy cheap houses. So you got to start with a vision. You got to have a good vision.
That's a great point.
Yeah. Because the buyer's buying your vision.
Right.
Yeah.
They always tell me, spend the money on the kitchen. Right.
Kitchen and bath. Yep.
Kitchen and bath. As a man, I'm looking at the garage, the land. Does it have a shed? You know
Right.
what I mean? Of course,
But the wife's
family.
picking the house.
Yeah, the wife's picking the house. She's picking the materials, the color of the palette
Right.
combination, and stuff like that. And my producer knows that. I mean, his wife is very aesthetic.
Oh, yeah?
Very aesthetic. I think she went boho once, like that bohemian,
really?
whatever. And she wanted to flip my house boho. I'm like, whoa.
He was like, wait.
If we were an island, maybe, you know what I mean. But she has great expensive taste, So she has some savings somewhere down the line. So that's very important. How many houses or people have you coached, just in general, about flipping homes and so forth?
I started coaching 3 years ago. 7. I've got 7 people started in real estate investing
That's amazing.
successfully. Yeah.
Okay, so you dedicate yourself and you focus on coaching, mentoring people that want to flip homes
Yes.
and make a profit, a substantial profit, growing wealth out of flipping homes.
Correct.
Do you do tail end on how to invest on your earnings after that, or is that something separate from what you coach?
That'll be separate. What I usually tell them is, flip 3 to 5 houses and then buy a rental property. Right. Because if you continue to flip, your money is always in the streets. Sure. Right. You need something to come back. Right. And then you need that money to also be earning money somewhere else passively, because flipping homes is not passive income. It's a job.
One of the things that I would advise people, and just looking, sometimes I see a lot of apartment complexes. So they buy one unit that has 4 apartments, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe double that. Let's say 4 massive apartments, and they just buy that unit and they flip the units, individual units, and you're really just taking care of one building that has 4 units. That's growing income as you go. And I've seen that close to Patriots High School. What was that Patriots on Washington?
West Side?
West Side. That's it.
That's funny because I sold
West Side.
12 units over there.
See that? Yeah. There you go, West Side.
I had a client, actually a friend of mine from New York.
Okay.
I helped him to purchase. It was 8 units over there. He purchased it for 400,000.
Sure.
And 3 years later, I sold it for 900,000.
Amazing, and that's
great profit for him.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was looking into. Is if I'm going to do this, obviously, I don't know about you, I don't have a lot of time. My every hour of the day is counted. With our profession, our careers, and everything that we do in between. So if we're going to go big, go big or go home, and focus on something like that, and or investment property that's in the right location to Airbnb, and then do that. Thinking of the island of Puerto Rico, something tropical, something that people can go into. So do people just do the Airbnb, or do they just rent it out and do rental properties once they flip it?
I have clients that does Airbnb. I have an Airbnb, and they also rent them out too.
Okay. Yep. Outstanding.
So it really depends on what the numbers look like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, you have to count.
If the numbers aren't good enough to get a 20% profit, correct, if you're flipping it, then I'll suggest to rent it, and then you can get rental income for a few years, and then flip it, and then get more than 20% profit.
That's great.
So
great
sometimes
advice.
that patience is worth it.
Yeah, one of the things that we've seen, that's rising and escalating is property taxes. These property taxes, man. Lord have mercy. You wonder why I pray a lot.
Oh yes,
and write a lot.
Oh yes,
it's motivated by the property taxes. I'm just gonna put it out there on the forge.
we all can move to Florida.
I don't know.
Getting rid of the property taxes.
Yeah, that we need to move somewhere, maybe right. Alaska, something like that. Yeah. But to move out of the property taxes, but it's amazing. So. Of course, property taxes, making a profitability to do that. Transitioning over to mindset, it's in order to do everything that you have enumerated, it takes an individual, it takes a couple that is very disciplined.
Yes.
Very disciplined before being persistent, because you can be persistently going in the wrong direction.
True.
So you have to have the information and be very disciplined, focused. And I, as a project manager, I'm all about pre-planning, looking at the scope of the project, looking at my inputs, my outputs, looking at every asset allocation, looking at who am I partnering with, looking at my financial stream, my revenue stream, but also the outflow of my liquid asset. Once money goes out, unless you have money coming in the same, quantity, whatnot, right. Then I have to ensure that I have a contingency plan or contingency money, whether it be in a very secure Roth IRA or a 401k plan or some liquid assets on a high yield savings account, whatnot. You have to have all those things in order before you embark on a vision and a mission in order to accomplish a certain goal at a certain time frame. That's called a project cycle. We have this project is going to start in January. It's got to end in March, mid-March, and these are the milestones in between and whatnot. And I say that, I guess that I say this out of experience, but I didn't start off like this. And it could be that some some couples or maybe some individuals are, because of that emotional drive, go into the project and don't calculate the costs.
True.
What type of individual is successful? What type of what qualities would make an individual successful in order to achieve that desired outcome?
I would say coaching. Having a leader that is where you want to be.
Sure.
Right.
So you would say go in with a coach, or do you see a lot of people going into it without coaching?
I would say you need some type of mentorship or coaching.
Correct.
You have to know what you're up against. I think people make mistakes because they just dive into things,
Sure.
not understanding like what does it involve, what mistakes can I avoid.
Sure.
Right. You want to avoid as many mistakes as you can. You don't have to make a mistake, right? So you don't want to learn everything by losing, right?
Correct.
You want to learn by somebody else's loss.
Sure.
And that's where that mentor,
all the people's money.
Exactly. That's where that mentorship and coaching comes in. That saves you a lot of time and money.
Correct. So you not only give them, financial coaching and real life experience about things that work, things that didn't work, but by the same time, you're looking at people's attitudes in the process.
Absolutely.
Did this person have the thrive, the drive in order to bring this project into fruition?
It doesn't matter what you do. Mindset is at the top of whatever you're doing.
Sure.
You can do anything with the wrong mindset and you won't be successful.
Absolutely. That's a great advice. So, many people define success very differently.
Yeah.
And I can achieve, like you say, I can achieve the outcome and arrive broke, arrive exhausted. I've seen people achieve their goal at the expense of their ending up in divorce, ending up with torn family relationships, a disconnect between parents and children because they've dedicated all their time to this project. What they calculated to be 3 months is now they're 7 months, 8 months into it because of XYZ. So at the end of the day, and when they achieve that milestone, you want them to not only be successful financially. Yes, you made a profit, but what else have you lost?
True.
How does Mr. Antonio Raleigh define success?
Success is first setting a goal, right? And just basically accomplishing that goal. And a goal doesn't have to be huge. It could be small, right?
Sure.
You can step your way into it, right? And continue to increase that goal. But success is just doing what you said you were going to do and getting the result that you said you were going to get.
Absolutely. In the specific time,
In the specific time, yep.
There was I can't remember the movie. I think it'll come to mind, but there was a young gentleman that he went to college. And yes, I went to college and I graduated after 12 years, so
he was successful eventually.
He was successful eventually. So that short-term goal, maybe 3, I'm not sure if it was a community college or it was a university, but typically it's 4 to 6 years, right? Depending on your major. He had almost 12 years into it, but he finished, right? Eventually, I think they pushed him out because, you're 12 years older,
right.
from when you started. So one of the things that I do, it's in my life, because I don't coach others in the way you coach others as far as financially. My strengths are my writing the books and giving conferences, giving seminars on not only leadership, but of course ministering here, doing this there, and I always advise people not only knowing your why, of course, being guided by the man upstairs, our Creator,
Amen.
but also again, at what cost is the question that I always ask the audience. Is that there's some things that you want to get to the end goal, healthy physically, healthy mentally, with stronger relationships as far as yourself, your wife, your kids, strong partnerships, meaning that you've obtained the right coach, you made the right associations, you have the right connections, the healthy connections,
right?
People that become assets, they become guardians also of your dreams, your aspirations, your assets. You achieve the end goal, yes, with a little bit bruised, a little bit scarred, because the process does discipline you, it does form you. But at the end of the day, your drive and your discipline you arrived with the correct mindset and also without losing your health in between. So with
Yeah.
that said, you work out a lot.
Yeah.
You work out a lot, and I'm glad. I was telling Mr. Antonio that I'm glad he wore a sweater today because I also wore a nice little loose shirt. I didn't want to make you look bad. So
You want to make me look bad.
No, but yeah, you work out a lot, and also you compete professionally. I've seen a lot of your competitions where it takes a lot of all the qualities that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Not only from the real professional real estate, not only from being a coach, but it takes discipline. It takes grinding. It takes eating healthy, looking over your mindset and so forth. What made you get into bodybuilding? Because you didn't get out of the military. I seen the photos, Antonio. I see
Don't
the
tell him about the
photos.
photos.
All right, I won't mention his social pages, but I seen those photos. That before photo, you were not as big as fit now. What motivated you to start and getting a little bit more discipline and focus on bodybuilding?
Well, when I got into real estate, I learned more through Keller Williams
Okay.
and some of the classes that I took about mindset. Right, they're very deep on mindset, and I started wanting to eat healthy. Right,
Okay.
as a life by design. I wanted to be more healthy. I had the dad bod. I was overweight.
Yeah.
Wasn't doing anything. No type of running, walking, or nothing. Right?
No shame. I don't want you to feel bad.
Oh,
but he said the dad bod.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But my wife, she signed us up for a personal.
Go ahead.
My wife signed us up for a personal trainer, and
Okay.
it was 3 days a week. Of course, we had to pay for it, but I wasn't going.
Sure.
I was paying for something, wasn't getting nothing out of it. So
is it one of these gyms here, Gold's Gym?
it's a real small gym.
Small gym, okay.
Small. He happened to be a bodybuilding coach.
Okay.
But he didn't really talk to me about bodybuilding. He just mentioned it.
Sure.
And so I came to him one day, long story short, and I was like, hey, man, I want to try this bodybuilding thing because I think that might make me want to get up in the morning and come to the gym because I'm just not motivated, right? I was just looking for some motivation so I wasn't wasting my money. So I ended up trying it out 2020 during COVID. I signed up for my first bodybuilding show. Because of COVID, it got canceled.
Okay.
So I gained the weight back, and then I had to lose it again because they finally had the show later on that year in August. And I got third place my first show.
Okay, wow, outstanding.
And I am competitive, so I did not like that somebody beat me.
Okay.
So
what weight were you before you started bodybuilding?
So it's weird. I was 200 pounds.
Okay, that's a lot of weight.
With the dad bod.
With the dad bod, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad you explained
No
it.
offense, right?
All right,
with the dad bod, yeah. And today, I hope I look muscular, but
Sure.
I'm 205 pounds now.
205,
and I look better.
but you're definitely ripped.
Yeah,
definitely ripped.
Put on the muscle, yeah.
So was it during COVID? Everybody had time during COVID to work out. Did you hit it really hard during that time?
I did, because I got focused on getting on the stage. What I love about bodybuilding and setting a goal is it gives you a deadline.
Okay.
And that's where most people fail when they set goals. They don't have a deadline. So a lot of times they never reach it. But in bodybuilding, there's a deadline. That show is this date, and that date's not changing.
Okay.
So,
that's outstanding. Yeah, I didn't see that
So you better eat right. You better drink your water. You better go to sleep, and you better show up to the gym and don't miss days because those people that's going to stand next to you on the stage, they're not missing.
Correct.
They're coming to beat you.
Right.
So you got to develop that mentality, that dog mentality. Like, I got to do what I got to do now.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
So.
You said nutrition, right? So by 200 pounds, of course, a lot of people gain weight in order to get, lose the weight and get ripped.
That's right. Yeah.
Is that what you did, or you did the opposite? You had the weight. You just
already had the weight. Yeah.
Already had the weight.
It was just a matter of working out and starting cleaning up the diet.
I would like to tell my producer that there is hope. There's hope for us. We have a deadline. I'm not sure it's going to be 3.
You can do anything in 3 months. I promise you.
3 months.
3 months will change. People wouldn't know who you are in 3 months.
All right. So, Mr. Kevin, Oh, we got 3 months to make this happen. All right. Yeah, I always say, you know how it
I
is.
can write the plan for you.
Man, yeah, please do. We could talk after this podcast. You know, because March comes along and everybody wants that beach body, right?
Yep.
Oh, we got to stop. We got to stop eating so much fast food, so much unhealthy things, especially late at night, right?
Right.
We Hispanics, man, we love to eat late at night. You know, just deep
I
fried
know. My
stuff.
wife's Hispanic. I know.
Pastelillo, this, you know, anything, and
Mofongo.
mofongo, carnita, you know it. You know, it's just so many things, and I think Kevin would agree with that too. You know, we're not bashful about eating. What things you recommend as you're bodybuilding? Obviously, your nutrition had to change. What things are unhealthy as you bodybuild? What
Unhealthy?
type of fried foods?
Anything greasy, yeah.
Anything greasy.
Any
Okay.
fried food, high in sugar.
High in
It's okay
sugar.
to have sugar if it's 6 grams or less in sugar. I'll enjoy it, but
Sure.
more than that, I'll stay away from it. Try to stay away from most breads.
Okay.
I may have a bagel here and there, or wheat bread, or protein bread. They
The
have,
protein bread.
yep. So
Do you drink a lot of protein shakes, protein bars? Because that's an investment too. That's one of the things that when
the food is expensive.
yeah, I mean, healthy food is expensive. You know, you go to these, you know, healthy supermarkets, you pay 3 times for one thing, you know,
True.
that you would do at Walmart, you know. So when I used to work out, you know, back in the day, way back,
Way back.
I need you to have faith right now. When I used to work out, man, I used to buy all that creatine, right, to get the mass and get the water
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And these things are $60 on up, you know,
Oh, yeah.
on up, depending on it's a GNC. You go to and get
Yep.
all the
Vitamin
you know,
Shop, GNC,
vitamin shops
Amazon.
and stuff like that. And you know, I really didn't know what I was buying. I knew I was buying creatine, but there was so many things that were being offered. And obviously, if you buy it all and you consume it all, you can get something, you know, your liver damage or your hurt something.
Yeah.
Something's going to give up over time.
Mm-hmm.
As you eat healthy, what things would you advise people not to overdo, as far as like the protein bars, the shakes, or any other additives?
Great
to the
question.
body?
Yeah, so when it comes to protein bars and protein shake, it's not real food.
Okay.
Coming from a bodybuilder,
Sure.
we don't view that as real food.
Okay.
So when it comes to that, I would only have one a day.
One a day.
Right? I wouldn't drink 2 protein shakes a day, because it's better to have a meal than a protein shake, because
What
a
is-
protein shake
sure.
is just identical to a meal.
Correct.
Right? It's not, but it's not the exact same thing, right? The food has more nutrients in it, so you would rather have food than the protein shake or even the protein bar.
How do you prepare food wise for a competition? What do you eat, you know, on a weekly basis? I mean, what does your diet look like?
Cool. So I eat 6 times a day.
Six
Right.
times a day. Oh, Kevin, that we have hope.
Now, what helps me with eating 6 times a day is one of those will be a protein shake or a protein bar.
Micro little sampler, right? It's not like big meals a day. Or you
Well, it depends. So if you're bulking, where you're trying to put on
Sure.
muscle mass,
Right.
then it's going to be a lot. So right now I'm bulking. I'm putting on muscle mass. So one of my meals might be 7 ounces of rice, which is a lot of
Okay.
rice, and I'll probably have 6 ounces of protein, whether it's going to be chicken thighs, chicken breast, ground turkey, or
Yeah.
steak.
Everybody says eat a lot of chicken. Is that a good advice, or steak? Which of the two?
Steak is better, and
Steak is
ground
better.
turkey is better. It has more nutrients in it than the chicken does.
Or I think you're gonna default to chicken because steak is expensive. It's
It is.
expensive. It's
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So you have. Are you counting calories, or are you counting
Absolutely.
carbs or both?
Counting, I weigh all of my food.
You
So when I
weigh-
eat a meal,
you
I have
weigh-
a scale. Yeah.
You have a scale.
Yep.
Wow, you taking it to a whole nother level.
Well, the thing about it is, if you want to pick up muscle, gain weight at the rate that you want to, it's better for the body to get the same amount of calories consistently, because then you get faster results.
Correct.
But if you're eating 1,000 today, 2,000, and 3,000, the body doesn't know. It's just going to take the median effect,
Okay.
right? So you give it the same amount of calories every day based on what you're trying to do, you get faster results.
I'll say I never thought about that.
Yep.
You know, I'm a busy individual, and a lot of times we eat on the go. You
Yeah.
know, we eat on the go because we got things. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was in Fostoria, Ohio.
Oh
You
wow.
know, and I asked the guy, "Hey, what's around here?" Because I felt like I was in in the middle of nowhere, right? But long story, it was beautiful town. Don't get offended, Pastoria. Beautiful town, but the only thing there was a Mexican restaurant. Of course, man, you go to a Mexican restaurant,
Oh
you're
man.
gonna go carnitas. They give you the chips and stuff
The
like that.
cheese
I'm
also.
I'm not thinking workout. I'm thinking let's
I'm
let's
hungry.
let's eat. So when you have to work out. Do you work out every day? How early do you get up on the day to work out? Do you work out in the morning? Obviously, work, family, and then at night. How does your weekly routine look like?
So I'll give you my routine if I'm prepping for a show. If I'm prepping for a show, I'm gonna get to the gym between 5 and 7 a.m.
Okay,
Right. Uh,
2 hour workouts.
Well, no, I'm gonna
No.
get to the gym between that
Between
time.
that time.
Right.
Okay.
The workout it'll start off as an hour. As I get closer to the show date, it goes up to 2.5 hours,
Okay.
and that's gonna include weightlifting, cardio, and abs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weightlifting, cardio, and abs, of course. Some days you do legs, other days you do more chest, other days
Right.
you do that. So you
Six
have
days. 6 days a week I go to the gym.
6 days
No, I'm
a
sorry.
week.
I'm sorry. 5 days a week I go
5
to the
days a
gym.
week.
2 days is rest days.
Rest days. I was going to ask you, when do
Yeah.
you rest?
Yep.
Right?
Thursdays and Sunday.
Thursdays and Sundays. Sunday's a good day because I have to see you then.
Right.
Sundays, all right. So maybe that's why if I see you walking a little stiff,
Yeah.
I know you're aching for the workout.
That's right.
You can pass for. I'll pray for you for looseness on that. That these qualities are, you were talking about mindset.
Yeah.
It takes discipline. It takes persistence.
Yes.
It takes sometimes, whether it's raining, I'm going to go to the gym. Whether I want it or not, I'm going to eat this meal. I'm not going to be tempted to eat this, to eat that. I'm going to focus on the goal and whatnot. You get to the competition. I mean, it definitely pays its rewards, its dividends. Every time I see you're in the platform, you got a medal, you got something going on, and truth be told, I wrap something around my neck to try to feel proud. That. I do a lot of mental work. That's my workout.
There you
A
go.
lot of mental work, day in, day out.
That's the hardest work, man.
So
Mental work.
once you have the competition, the day after the competition, how many days rest do you give yourself before you start working toward maybe another physical goal?
Typically I'll probably give myself maybe 2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 months without
Yeah.
working out.
No, okay, not without working out.
Okay,
without working out as serious.
As serious.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, outstanding.
I'm always gonna work out.
Correct. It's a
Yeah.
lifestyle.
When I get off the stage, I may give my body maybe 2 days of rest. I'm getting back in the gym.
Okay.
I may take it light when I get back in the gym, but I'm getting back in there.
Do you drink a lot of water? I mean, how much water do you?
I drink a gallon of water a day. As I get closer to the show, it gets up to a gallon and a half.
A gallon and a half.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trips to where. That's a
Yeah.
lot of water.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the thing about water is when you're bringing in enough water,
Sure.
your body won't hold it. So a lot of people will lose weight quickly just by increasing their water.
We got hope, Kevin. We got to increase our water. That's it. Kevin said,
Throwing him under the bus, huh?
Kevin said what? Oh, well,
He
all
said
right.
pick someone else.
All right. I'll make up a name, John or something like that.
There you go.
We got to have a conversation after this. Yeah. That's great. Mindset. So mindset to get serious. Mindset, discipline. One of the things that I always advise people is that they have a lot of dreams, a lot of aspirations, both in ministry, career wise. They have personal goals and aspirations, and a lot of it's not academic, a lot of it is not financial, a lot of it sometimes it's not even spiritual. A
Yeah.
lot of it it's physical.
Yeah.
You had some promises, you had some goals, you had some declarations over your life, you had a vision, a mission, a prophetic word, whatever that may have been, and you were unable to get there because of health issues and complications because of an unhealthy lifestyle. Some of it may be genetics, and a lot of times it's just that we don't take care of ourselves as individuals, men, women, and so forth. One of the things that made me really happy was when Jasmin got into fitness as well.
Yeah.
I saw you. I've always seen you, and suddenly, here's some posts of you guys together, and you were working out together. And I think she may have won one or two competitions. Not sure, but she started. Did you motivate her, or she had it already as a goal to start working out?
No, I motivated her. Well, she motivated me to get on the stage for like the first time.
Okay.
And it's weird because she never had any aspiration towards bodybuilding until she went to my show.
Oh, outstanding.
Because the women are in bikinis, right?
Sure.
And so she thought like maybe like I'm not doing that.
Sure.
Like that's not gonna look right for me.
Right.
But when she actually went to the show and she saw that, hey, they're judging the physique, they're judging the muscle that you built.
Correct.
They're judging the posing, the beauty, how you
Sure.
put yourself together. And so she was interested, and then she finally did the next show with me.
Correct.
So my second show, she did her first show.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Great memories and all that. Do you tend to work alone, or do you have other people that you work with?
I work alone. I try to work out. It's just like, as bodybuilders,
right?
It's weird. We can only work out with bodybuilders. It's
right.
like, it's a different type of mentality.
Sure.
It's a different type of workout, right?
Right.
We're not going to talk. We're not going to have a conversation. We're not going to talk about sports.
Right. You're there. You got your 3 reps.
Yeah.
I got my 3 reps. Somebody else and stuff like that. Yeah. Sometimes you need, like when I was working out, it was way back then. I think it was like Windsor Spring Road and Rosier Road. There used to be a Gold's Gym there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, we have way back in the day. So there used to be a Gold's Gym there, and of course they had local. They had some coaches in there, trainers. But they would push you, motivate you, yell at you, smack you. You can do it.
Military style.
Military style. A lot of yelling. They were also focused. But it was one of the best periods of my life. Of course, I was younger, but as far as mindset, as far as discipline, going there 5 days a week, maintaining weight. Not the dad bod, but just maintaining weight. You start to see the abs. You start to see the tone, the best you can. Of course, there's always a personal best, and that was great. I ran great. I felt great and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that I would aspire everybody. You don't have to be as bulky, whatnot, as long as you have a lifestyle that can help you get to your dreams and aspirations.
Lifestyle is key.
Get you to your goal. And like you said, it's a lifestyle, it's a routine. And a lot of people don't want to pay the price to get to that routine. I see a lot of the qualities that to this day you had when you were 18 in the military, right? Everything was about, you had goals, aspirations, discipline, focus, mindset, grinding it out, perhaps not having all the answers to your questions, or maybe not a clear vision, but your persistence paid off, because not only your career, but also now into your real estate. Well, now you're not only a professional real estate agent, but you're also coaching and helping people gain wealth and create wealth. And so that's rewarding, not only personally for you, but also seeing other people triumph and other people succeed. I have one addiction, and is I love to see people succeed. I love to see the rags to riches type story, whatever that may be, not necessarily financially, but also in mindset, also in their physical appearance, yes, also in their attitudes. People with just with really bad attitudes. And seeing that exemplary in your life and your ministry and what you're doing and where you're headed, because again, you're a young guy, and knowing that you have laid the example and the foundations for many that are coming your way.
Yeah.
And want to say, how did he do it? And are asking you advice. And I would like to close with this question: is if you're looking at a young Antonio Bradley that is looking at you right now and saying, I would love to embark in this career or develop this type of mindset to have a successful and good quality of life, what would you advise them nowadays with the kind of world that we're living in, with all the volatility financially, the turmoil, and so many things that are happening in our society? What would you advise that young Antonio Bradley?
First thing I would say is do it through prayer, right? Go through God, stick with God.
Yes.
Right. Allow him to guide you and lead you. You're gonna need a lot of faith.
Sure.
Right. So get ready for the ride. And then I would say program program your mind the way you want to be, right? If you want to be whoever, if you want to be at a certain spot, study those people that are already there and what did they do to get there mindset wise, and program your mind that way. I think a lot of people today, because of social media, and we're so used to looking at other people's lives, and again, we don't know how they got there, right? And so we're not willing to do the work. We just want what they want, or we desire what they have. But it's so easy right now with all this information. It's so easy to reprogram your mind to think the way you want to think. You've got so many people on YouTube that you can listen to. You got Tony Robbins, you got
Sure.
Eric Thomas,
Sure.
right? I studied these people in my 20s, right? And now I'm starting to see it pay off. I mean, I listen to them every day,
Sure.
all day.
Yeah.
Right?
Likewise.
Bob
yes.
Proctor. Yeah.
Likewise.
So that's what I would say. Program yourself, prayer and faith.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He definitely laid the foundations, and what a beautiful legacy you're leaving with us. And not only, again, seeing the fruits of your labor in your life, in your family, your household, but how you're blessing other people by giving them teaching them the correct mindset and the how to grow wealth and so forth. Now, your website is the Bradley Group.
The Bradley Real Estate Group. Yes.
The BradleyRealEstateGroup.com.
.com.
.com, and in there you'll find all the information. I see that you guys celebrate like a different events during the year.
Oh yeah,
So
we
you're
have a
always
lot of client
celebrating.
events. Yeah.
That's amazing. So the BradleyRealEstateGroup.com for more information on how to get in contact with Mr. Antonio Bradley. We have navigated through professional real estate. We have navigated through flipping homes. We have navigated through the mindset and having the physicality to get to those goals and to those aspirations. And the legacy that you're leaving behind is one that's admirable. And I pray many blessings for your life. And I'm pretty sure that if you want more information on how this gentleman is getting as ripped as he is getting and as blessed as he's getting, contact him through the Bradley Real Estate Group. There's so much information. There's so much we can cover only in an hour, but he has so much wealth of information financially. I will definitely thank you so much. If you like, share, subscribe, find us on the YouTube channel. And of course, what a blessing we've had today. I will see you on that next episode.